Welcome, my friends, to another vintage special episode. In this episode, I will show you the beautiful material celluloid used in the Italian fountain pen industry between the 1930s, early 1930s, and the early to mid 1950s. And I have prepared for you some gorgeous examples, and I will start in a chronological order. So, one of my most precious fountain pen in the collection is this beautiful Omas Extra from 1932. You can see it has this beautiful celluloid material which has shades of green, of gray, and this almost mother of pearl shades to it, like you see here. And this artificial lighting doesn't do it justice. This is a wonderful fountain pen with a great value today. It is quite a rare fountain pen. This isn't the faceted version, but the simple cylindrical version, and it is in a medium size. Those fountain pens were available in small, medium, and large size. I will put this here. And the next fountain pen is quite an interesting fountain pen, but not only because it is a rare fountain pen. You can see the similarities with the Parker model, but no, this isn't an American model. It is an Italian model and a quite rare model. Even the name of it suggests the Scotland. It suggests American or maybe an English fountain pen. But no, this is the Scotland pen self-filling. It has this nib, and interesting on the nib, it is written made in England. This is a little lie, because it isn't made in England. Not even the nib is made in England. It was made all in Italy. Of course, based on based on the highly popular Parker model overseas. And you see the cap has a flat top, but the ending of the barrel has this cylindrical fake cap because we have a button filler. And some people suggested that this isn't the original cap because the original cap was also a flat cap. But this part, whether it was replaced in time, it fits quite well with the body and the rest of the fountain pen. And I thought to myself, when the Americans from Schaeffler made the transition between the flat tops and the balance models, they released also some variants with the ending of the barrel and the ending of the cap in a different configuration. So I thought to myself, why not? Maybe also the Italians did this thing. This is quite a rare model because it was produced, I believe, in 1935. And I say that because in 1935, the fascists under Mussolini, they adopted some laws that protected the Latin sounding names and those old English or foreign founding companies which choose their names at the early 1930s, when it was considered that a foreign name gave the product some belief. The foreign name made the consumers buy this fountain pen because they thought it was a qualitative product. But with this law that protected the Latin sounding names, all the firms changed their names. So this is quite a rare piece. As you can see, we see some discoloration. This was the original color, but for me, it's not a problem. For me, this discoloration gives it character and patina. Okay, I've talked a little bit long about this model, but this is quite a rare model. I'm quite proud of it. Quite a massive fountain pen. And we continue with a fountain pen made in the Settino Torinese area, and this is the Estance fountain pen. You can see the beautiful celluloid, a brown celluloid, and this was made in the late 1940s because you can see the filling mechanism, a button filler, which was quite popular in that time. Okay, so this is the Estance, and I will leave this here, and we continue with another beautiful Omas. So I must tell you that the Omas models from the 1930s, 1940s, and even 1950s have these gorgeous materials. Just look at this fountain pen. Look at this shade of gray with some mother of pearl with quite nice pattern, nice colors, and pretty nice material. This is a Lomas Extra, and it is a newer model in comparison with that from 1932. You can see the ink window. This is a piston filler, and I believe that this is from the late 1940s and early 1950s. Also, you can see the cigar shape. And speaking of the late 1940s, this is a Verbana fountain pen. Quite a nice fountain pen. As you can see here, Verbana. I hope it will show in this lighting. Verbana is quite faded away, with a beautiful 14 karat gold nib. Also, I believe this was made at the end of the 1940s. It has a blind cap and it is a button filler. And let's move on to other fountain pens made in the Settino Torinese area. This is a Maryland, and this is a model from the 1950s done in this celluloid, and quite a nice looking Maryland. Let's put it here, and let's pass on to another Maryland fountain pen, also from the same period. Those were medium quality fountain pens, but with nice appealing colorful celluloids. And when I'm saying when I told you that it's from the 1950s, I want to show you the interesting filling mechanism, like a syringe filler or a piston filler. This filling mechanism is specific to the 1950s, and it's present on quite a few Italian fountain pens made in the Settino Torinese area. And I will leave this. So this is an ivory colored model, almost a grayish model, but if you find this in a more whitish, more ivory colored, you you could hold in your hand a nice gift from a communion religious ceremony in Italy. Italy is a Catholic country, and the fountain pen industry marketed those fountain pens like communion gifts. So this was the last Italian fountain pen in my collection. And let's look of them again. I love the celluloid material. When you, even if you don't like vintage fountain pens, when someone brings to the office vintage beauty, and the light reflects from this material, it is quite a nice looking writing instrument. And you know for sure that it doesn't compare to a simple ballpoint pen, and it has some character that you don't see in modern fountain pens, maybe in Arco models, also Italian fountain pens, but interesting, made with vintage materials, vintage celluloid. So quite a nice material for the fountain pens. Some people consider that the celluloid is quite a fragile material, but for me, it complements the writing instrument. It gives it character and beauty. They are like work of arts. So, guys, I leave you with this image. And by the way, you could collect Omas, but they are quite expensive. And you could collect some more cheaper models, but they are as nice as the Omas models. So depending on your budget, on or on your luck, because you can find also vintage treasures like this one. So I paid for this beautiful 1930s Omas, believe it or not. I paid only 20 euros, yes, and this is a fountain pen that cost almost 1000 euros. So I didn't show you this beauty. This is a lever filler, sorry, not a button filler. But I wanted to show you this gorgeous little nib. This beautiful Omas nib. And why not? Because the theme of the video is celluloid. Just look, just look at those wonderful shades of the material. And you heard it before on my channel, the Italians gave us beautiful pieces, work of art. The Germans were quite strict. They delivered us good working horses with black materials and gold trims. They are classic models, but in comparison with these beauties, you know that the Italians put a little bit more of a soul in their wonderful creations. Of course, they were influenced, design influenced by Germans, by Americans, models of that time. But here is the legacy of the Italian fountain pen industry. In the end, I must tell you a little sad story. The Omas producer is not longer with us since 2015, and I consider it a great loss for the fountain pen community, fountain pen industry in Italy, because during their lifespan, they delivered quite iconic models, and I hope that someday some investors would buy the brand, and I hope they can deliver us new and exciting models. This was the video of beautiful celluloid Italian fountain pens in my collection. You can see that this material was used in the 1930s, the 1940s, and the 1950s before the crisis brought by the ballpoint pen supremacy. I thank you for your time. I hope you've learned interesting information from from my video. As always, I wish you to have a nice day. See you again at the next episode, and I leave you with these beauties and tell you bye bye.